What is to be sensitive? The more vulnerable one is, the more sensitive one may be. The more vulnerable one is with oneself, the greater the opportunity for reaching wholeness. To be completely vulnerable is to be. Otherwise, what aspect of one's personality is being used to protect one's inner child? The experience of expressing oneself in a vulnerable state creates strength and a constant new knowing of oneself. So I ask you, how sensitive are you capable of being? One may attempt to leave a situation created by oneself only for one's root to express and create a situation that carries the same energy. Evolution requires patience as to not act irrationally while perceiving life from a new perspective so that one may witness the external world as the direct reflection of oneself. One may live in an illusion, one may exist in a state of awareness. Regardless, the option for evolution is always available. One may experience much pain before choosing a new life for oneself. Many don't realize that the process of healing may be more manageable than the pain and trauma one may currently live through. The path ahead may be more treacherous than the one already walked if one fails to perceive the challenges that await. One may wish for peace in the world. If one were to create such circumstances, how many beings would be taken away from their journey of evolution? Without pain, one would not truly be tested. Pain is essential in one's evolution. Expression is the journey to the destination of experience. Experience is the journey to the destination of choice. The cycle repeats with every new knowing, with every new perspective of oneself. One will inevitably project and attract what one is. One's life is an obvious reflection of such. If one is depressed, one's depression will be projected regardless of one's intentions. One may not be fully aware of one's true nature, or one may attempt to hide one's root by using words. This is why healing is the most practical thing one can do. One will explore many perceptions of oneself during different phases of evolution. Along this journey, relationships are built. The magnetism of energies called relationships is an opportunity to acknowledge a part of oneself. All relationships hold purpose in one's life. One may acknowledge the reason to understand why. The reason will reveal to oneself the knowledge required to evolve oneself and the relationship. It is inevitable that humans will use time for practical matters, creating moments from eternal perpetuity. One's physical experience is still a perpetual cycle, rarely perceived in wholeness during one's physical existence, a cycle perpetuated throughout each phase of one's evolution, throughout each phase of one's perception.
To be a narcissist and to have narcissistic traits are totally different expressions. The intentions of someone with narcissistic traits towards another person stem from trauma. The intentions of someone who is a narcissistic towards another person does not just stem from trauma, but is the existing projection of what one intends when one solely lives to protect one's ego. The goal of a narcissist isn't much of a goal at all compared to others among society. The ambitions of a narcissist are fueled by a deep insecurity and a lack of self identity. What one may perceive as accomplishments for a narcissist are expressions of a need for validation or a byproduct of the personality created by the narcissist to protect its ego. The personality of a narcissist is made up of specific factors to one's own experience. What these factors have in common are one's own knowing of validation of one's expressions. The experience of a narcissist is one that seeks and creates the most validation for oneself. If one is to be separated from oneself by way of trauma, one may lose one's sense of self and simultaneously create a personality to protect one's ego and gain validation, the creation being a narcissist.
A man's 24-hour cycle, a woman's 28-day cycle, the four seasons, and the cycles of the moon are all reflections of the eternal cycle that physical reality represents. One's life is a cycle of one's creations. A woman's cycle is a direct reflection of her state of being. Nature proves to be the ultimate representation of what humans may look to as what is supposed to be.
In the age of information, when almost everything anyone would like to be informed about is a few clicks away, humans have been oversaturated with irrelevant facts and concepts. Too much information without a root understanding will lead oneself into negative karmic cycles. Many have been led astray into confiding in the external world. Accumulating external power does not always mean one changes internally. Technological advancement does not always equal spiritual evolution. It is a test of one's will to persevere through the changes of evolution, to not be pulled back into the programs of the lower self. Consistency in filtering one's thoughts is not to be overlooked. At any moment, one may slip back into one's own pain and trauma, the source of one's negative thoughts and emotions. The strength of one's will is built upon the experience of one's soul. Everyone is in one's own specific expression of one's evolutionary journey. Once one understands the universal laws of the evolutionary process, much of the anxiety created by such misunderstandings will be gone, clearing the path for healing to continue. Animals, insects, and plant life live out their existence the only way they know how. One may see the world as being small, another may see the world as vast and infinite. Regardless, plant life will still grow, animals will still mate, and one would still be born. Everything in life serves its purpose. When one knows oneself, one knows one's purpose. One may exist in a state of awareness, one may not. Yet, the more one becomes aware of one's own existence, the higher states of consciousness one may reach. How many people are waiting for something, and what are they attracting because of it? Faith may be a primary asset in this phase of one's evolution. One may not know how long, one may still have hope, belief, a subconscious knowing that things will work out and that everything happens for a reason, which will internally attract the desired outcome. With faith, oneself is becoming what one desires. One attracts that which one is. Faith is trusting what you believe until it becomes what you know. If one always knew, there would be no reason for faith. Faith may be the tool that guides the will of one, cutting through time and space to create the desired outcome, especially while experiencing the unknown. One may unknowingly overlook the encounters that provide oneself with a new perspective, especially the ones that easily go unnoticed. It may be even easier to see the lack of understanding and compassion in one's everyday life. When one's life is seemingly shrouded in negative energy, it may be an opportunity for one to be grateful for those that provide positive energy and a new perspective. For the ones who focus on the fear and pain in one's life and who have yet to heal will deprive themselves and their loved ones of genuine gratitude and appreciation. One may feel as if personalities are being forced upon each other, as if oneself or another may have to dim one's own light to cope with the dynamic and continue the relationship. When this dynamic occurs, it is a clear sign that the relationship may be balanced and healed, or separation will be a reoccurring theme between the two. One may argue that love cannot exist without understanding and compassion. One may willingly give understanding and compassion to one or many. If one fails to give oneself the same or more understanding and compassion, how may one truly love oneself? Expressing love is not without nurturing and protecting oneself. As one consciously chooses to be in a state of gratitude, the conscious and unconscious mind will communicate in a sense, as the unconscious mind is well aware of the pain and trauma that would prevent one from being grateful, which is why when one chooses to be grateful, one also becomes more aware of anything preventing such gratitude. Gratitude is more than just a word. It is a very important component in the process of healing, with the ability to change one's perception, changing one's reality, evolving oneself.
Through healing comes knowledge. With every choice of realignment, one remembers oneself. Such memories may seem like casual thoughts. When one accepts one's own true nature, one will know such thoughts and such memories are experiences of one's being resurfacing.
Through the act of sex, one may learn the deepest desires of oneself and the other. The sentiments expressed through sex reflect the state of being of oneself and the relationship with whom the expression is taking place. One may acknowledge one's desires during sex. Through sex, two may understand each other's reasons for being in each other's life, evolving the relationship. The magnetism of all relationships stems from one's root. Sexual energy is root energy. Through sex, one may understand the root of oneself. One's existence stems from one's root, is the creation of one's root. Sex may show oneself the reason for one's existence, if one is to acknowledge everything about oneself and the other person that one shares the experience with.
Fairy tales, or stories detached from the cultural limits of society, stories detached from the usual laws of reality, are stories of one's unlimited subconscious and may hold no bounds. The fairy tale is an imaginative expression of the storyteller's subconscious. How one interprets these limitless fairy tales will reflect one's state of being.